some fans saying that if you weren't at the Goldstone, if you didn't go to Gillingham, if you weren't at the Withdean, you shouldn't complain. That annoys the hell out of me. Because just because you weren't born in the right decade or the right year, you don't have a right.
Just for the audio listeners, Toby is, I don't know what he's thrown, but he's thrown something. Shaking his head whilst Tom's speaking. Absolutely. Sorry,
shaking
Tom.
his fist at the sky.
Continue your point. I just wanted to make that clear for the audio listeners.
No, I had been talking for a while, but it just really annoys me. I'm going to preface this. My first game, 1999, at the Withdean. I was at the Withdean. I froze my off at the Withdean. I got rained on, I got frozen, and I watched us lose to really rubbish teams. But when you see people say, oh, X amount of years ago, we were playing Warsaw and we were losing 4-0, as if that's got any bearing on...
Yeah, but we're not now.
We're not there anymore. Since Tony Bloom has come in, he has transformed this club. We are not the same club that we were in the 90s.
No.
So our expectations have changed as fans and as a club. And that's okay. So having people turn around and say to young fans especially, oh, you weren't at the Withdean, you weren't at Gillingham, you weren't at the Goldstone, you don't get to have a say. That really annoys me, because all it does is create this generational divide between younger fans and older fans, and it just really irked me to see people say.
I feel like every single person... I know, Toby, you're itching to say something. I'll come to you in just a second. Every single person in that stadium, every single person that supports Brighton and watches us and even just follows Brighton has their own story behind why they can't do certain things. I feel like I should be open and vulnerable about this. Not necessarily vulnerable because it's not, because it's just true life. So... when I was 5, my mum and dad split. We moved from Brighton to Hastings, and my mum was essentially a single parent raising 2 kids, right? So there was no way for me to get from Hastings to Brighton in those years between me growing up and when I could eventually get a season ticket when I was 14, I believe, maybe 13. I couldn't physically get to a game because my mum could not afford it. Does that mean that my opinion is any less than somebody who could go to that game? For example, my dad, before he moved to America, he's back now. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that he moved there for a good few years. He's back now, and now he's a season ticket holder again. But he went to loads of games before that. My mum, when she was my age, she went to the Goldstone ground all the time and then stopped because she was raising a family.
Yeah.
Every single person has their own story as to why they haven't gone to there. It's not because we didn't start supporting the Albion at this specific time.
Or you're a plastic fan or something ridiculous like that.
I'm sure, Curtis, you won't mind me saying you've not been to a game. But for me,
and a chunk of that is the same, like lack of money mainly.
Exactly.
And the fact that I have just terrible anxiety. And like
absolutely.
And that doesn't mean that I'm less of a fan because I don't go to the ground. I watch the games every week. I'm fully invested in the club. What more can I give?
Yeah, 100%. And the best you give is your support, and that's as good as anyone else. Somebody that travels away all the time, that's as good as anyone else. They've got the money to do that. Whatever, fine.
Yeah.
Let them do that. That's their life. Everyone has a different life. Toby, we'll come to you, mate. I'm sure you've got quite a lot to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just first of all second all you boys have said. Very similar situation to you, Joe. Parents split up, not a lot of money. And then secondly to that, I didn't like football until 2007. And at that time I was 10. So I'm already behind the curve. And I remember playing FIFA 07 on my PSP and playing with a Brighton team in League One with Fran Sandaza up top and Glenn Murray. So this is when I first knew football was this thing. I didn't really understand the concept of fans dedicated going to the game every week. I thought at the time, it's like a concert. You go every now and then.
Yeah.
No, it's you go every week and you support the boys and you cheer and you sing. Does that make me less of a fan because I started liking football later than everyone else? No, it doesn't. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I've devoted practically my life since 2007 to football. I watch as many games as I can, not even just my own team, as many teams as I can in different leagues and countries across the world. I love football, and I feel I have a good understanding of football. If someone questions me because I didn't go to the fucking Goldstone, I'm sorry, it just really winds me up.